Hello everyone, welcome to From 2 to 4, where we want to show Weiss Schwarz for everyone. This is the second deck tech of our deck tech series for the Weiss Schwarz Invitational, and our guest today is Mr. Ryan Wibbs. How are you, Ryan?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing fine. We want to provide deck techs because people have been trying. I've been asking a lot, and I was like, okay, I'll do the deck techs. I want this to happen because this is going to be good for people watching the Weiss Schwarz Invitational. And I think this is very good. Uh, you chose to bring Konosuba today in this tournament, and I think as you, the accomplished player you are, uh, can give us some pointers of why did you choose this deck?
Why did I choose Konosuba? uh, well, I mean, the real answer is because I didn't have any other English decks.
I mean, it works. It works.
Yeah, yeah, but if you want like a better answer, like Konosuba is really good into the meta right now. Like there isn't really a bad matchup for Konosuba in my eyes besides Love Live Sunshine, and there isn't very much Sunshine at this tournament, so it's not like a huge issue. Like most of the decks of the tournament, like Sao, Bang Dream, Goblin Slayer, like all of those decks, Konosuba has like a really good or a pretty good matchup into it. And on top of that, Konosuba has like a really disgusting sack factor with like the stock swap and the aqua reshuffler that can just steal games that you don't deserve to win. And like I personally think that that makes it like a really good tournament deck, and it's all and always just a good pick whenever you're going to a tournament.
I see. I see. Very, very insightful, actually. So let's go back. The level 0 looks pretty standard. Uh, you have four of the Ambush Union, which is one of the best cards in the game, probably. And the Chiyuri, two runners. Uh, Also, I see no free fresh. Any reason for that?
Uh, I don't particularly like the cost on the free fresh. So like a lot of people think that Konosuba has like infinite stock to like always be playing with, but like to have a really good game with Konosuba, you have to be managing your stock every single turn. And more often than not, I find that the two stock cost on the free fresh is never really worth it. Like you're never put into a situation where that two stock or like paying that two stock just to get a refresh effect ends up being worth it when you have like so many mill options where you can just mill your deck down if you're in a bad situation.
I see. I see. Also, you have like the one drop searcher because we haven't got the reprint on the movie set. I think it's in the movie set or in the
It's in
like you have to.
it's yeah, it's in Sneaker Bunko or the reprint. Uh, I'm not like a
Uh,
huge fan of the drop searcher. Like when I put the drop searcher in my deck, I mainly think of it as like a fifth copy of Ambush Union or a fifth copy of Bunny Girl Union. I don't really consider it anything more than that. So it just like adds consistency to the deck and getting like the core combo pieces that it needs to like get functioning.
I see. I see. Very well. Also, before we move to level one, one quick words on the not apple. Why is this card important in the deck?
Why is not Aqua important? well, so first, like the main reason for the card is the blue fix. So like a lot of the really important cards later in the game, like the Aqua early play, the like the Force Refresher and the Foreclosure event are blue. So you need some sort of card, or you need some sort of card that you're okay with leveling in order to enable those cards. So like that's the primary function of that goal. But the actual effect on the card itself benefit the deck a lot. Like the level threes and level twos in Konosuba are super powerful, so you end up like stacking heavily or stacking the deck heavily towards the top end, which makes like the actual hit rate on the stock effect really good. Your main resource is the Ambush Union, so Snot Aqua gives you the resources to like plus off of the Union constantly. Like if you're in like the Fujimi matchup or if you're in like the AOT matchup where you don't get reverses with the Bunny Girl Union, you can use like the Snot Aqua plus slamming stock souls to have the stock to pay for Union without like hurting yourself in the end game. And then on top of that, like the extra mill too helps you get out of your first deck a bit faster. And like having a good refresh with this deck and like having or hitting a good second deck compression ratio is really important in my eyes. So that only plays into that even further.
I see. Very, very insightful, actually. actually, this is a very deceptively powerful card, and you can do cool stuff with it later in the game. But let's move to level one. Bunny Girl Union. One of the best. Why is this the combo you play in Konosuba?
Well, I mean, we already mentioned it, right? That the Ambush Union is like the best card in the deck, arguably, like one of the best cards. I would see that, and like
Yeah,
because Ambush Union is so powerful, and it's like something that you like want to essentially build a deck around. You need ways to generate the resources for Ambush Union, and Bunny Girl Union gives you those resources.
I see. Also, it's in a gate, in a red gate. So
Yeah, yeah. Door trigger is like always just good. Like that only is a benefit in my eyes.
also the rest of the level two is very two bombs and two anti-change counters. Two is kind of a lot, but I think you have. I think this is probably a good explanation. So please help me out.
Sorry, is that Y2 anti-change counters?
Yeah. I assume
Okay.
you have a set idea of how the meta game is gonna how the games are gonna play out. So you probably need a
Yeah.
lot of these.
Well, I mean, the main reason actually for the two is because the deck doesn't really have that good selectivity besides a drop searcher or like a door trigger. As I've been saying, your main advantage is the ambush union, which pluses off the top four of your deck. So if you want to find specific cards, it can be pretty hard. So like running more than just like one copy helps increase the odds of getting it when you need it. So that way you're never put into a bad situation or like in a bad matchup where you would need that card and you don't have it.
I see, because as you say, this deck pluses cards, not specific cards.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, yeah, your advantage is just cards. It's not specific cards. So like, you want to run high counts, or you want to run higher counts of cards than normal to up consistency.
I see. Level two is pretty important. We have this Megumin that pluses you when you reverse level three or level two or higher, which is pretty good. But the main card here is teacher of private property or foreclosure, as people call it usually. So
Yeah,
why is this? This is the card probably why you play Konosuba, I think.
yeah. Like this single card is the reason you would be playing Konosuba. It's an anti-damage stock swap kill card all in one. Like it's completely overloaded.
I see. You have the because switching the stock and not giving it back at the same time can disrupt a lot of finishing combos in the game.
Yeah, like any
You
finishing
cannot.
combo, any finishing combo that's like costed in like during the attack phase gets turned off by this card, which is how it's an anti-damage. Like if you're against Yukina, turns it off. What are some other examples that I'm trying to think
Uh,
of? It's good against like
Mikasa.
ReZero. It's good. It's really good against Mikasa. What else? It's good against like any of the South top end. It's like it is just good into the meta. And then
I see. I see. Very powerful. So, as you said before, combining this stock swap event with force refreshes is one of the main win conditions of the deck. So
mm,
explain to us how this is the level three lineup that capitalizes more on the seizure of private property.
mm. Okay, so the way that like the combo works, I guess I should explain first. When you stock swap them, you're putting uh, more often than not clean cards back into their waiting room because people are always trying to play for clean stock. Whenever you trigger CX, you usually try to pay it out. So by removing their stock, you increase their waiting room size of clean cards, which then you can shuffle back into their deck with the Aqua Force Refresh, which decompresses them. So like it makes damage more likely to stick. And then if you look at the rest of the top end, like your actual finisher effects are pretty high burn numbers. So like the Stoxel combo is a burn 4, the other Megumin is like a burn 5. So by combining the event and the Aqua Force Refresher, you're able to put them into deck states where like 4s and 5s are more likely to stick, which increases your finishing power and increases your finishing range. So like some games you're able to close it out before your opponent even hits level 3, and you don't even have to worry about their end game just because of the raw power that this finishing combo gives you.
Uh, yeah, I've we've seen this many times before. on streams or on videos in general. Like the power sticks because you decompress them so hard with these two that the game just ends. And I see you rounding up the early play, which is a one-stock early play healer, which is very good.
Yeah, I'm a very big advocate of the Aqua early play healer. Like because your top end is super combo-y, you usually want a lot of resources going into level 3, which means that you want to prolong the mid game, and then Aqua plays into prolonging the mid game without getting rid of your resources, while also giving you a 2-soul beater to help like push damage or equalize damage. So I think that's extremely important for the deck.
Yeah. So the deck is pretty good, as I see. In, I'm not the master on this, but I see the deck looks very consistent. I assume this deck is very consistent in doing what it does. For the reasons you like to play this.
Yeah. I tried to build the deck very explicitly to be as consistent as possible, and I'm very happy with the results. It's not very often that you have a poor game because of the overload, I guess is how I'd word it, like the overload of utility and like mill effects that help fix your deck state or like help put you in better situations, which then transition into the super powerful end game extremely well.
Yeah, it's shown that Megumin is a very powerful finisher, and this Megumin is nothing to laugh at. So high power to kill people, and you have a level one combo that losses sort of losses two, so that's very good. I see why this is the deck you decide to bring. Uh, any closing thoughts on the deck? That
Uh,
like,
no, I think at this point in like the metagame, Konosuba in English is pretty solid, and like this list is pretty standard. There isn't really a whole lot to say until like new support comes in. I think that this is the correct way to build Konosuba for the English meta at the moment. Maybe minus the swimsuit, maybe up the runner a little bit more, just depending on what the meta that you're playing into is. But other than that, no, I'm really happy with the deck, and I
yeah,
hope it does well.
yeah. I see that. For example, you don't run the double early play combo that requires this, but you're not playing it, and you're not playing like the eight door variant, which is another
Oh,
version of the deck.
yeah, I can touch on that really quickly.
Sure.
I'm not a huge fan of the 8 door because I value the finishing power of the Stoxel combo a little too highly. Like have when you go into 8 doors, you're reliant more so on the burn 5 rather than like having the option of go for burn 4 or burn 5 depending on this specific situation. So like sometimes with the 8 door deck, you get put into situations where like a 5 isn't favored to stick, but 4s are, but you can't go for the 4, and it feels bad. I guess is how I'd word it, and like it can lose you some games. And then on top of that, just having a Stoxel in the deck is a bit better for your bad matchup. It's like as I mentioned, against AOT or like Fujimi, you don't get reverses with the Yunyun more often than not. So you have to get stock and resources other ways. So by having Stoxel and being able to play Stoxels, you're able to generate that additional stock you need to fuel your ambush Unions while also building stock for endgame, which is also pretty important for this tournament in particular.
Yeah, see, looking at the other people's decks, there's a lot of very strong decks and very new decks. So you want to be able to do your thing consistently and win most of the games, especially with the combo. This combo wrecks people so hard.
Yeah, people don't really like that combo very much for obvious reasons.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is legally not very said, and it's not even that impactful just because of how this card works. Yeah. Any expectations for the tournament? Like, do you do you expect to do like you have good expectations for the tournament, like doing well?
For myself personally,
Yes.
I'm not a huge fan of how the bracket looks for me right now. Like my first round, I have to rematch Daniel Hatsu from Australia. Like, we played in Worlds this past year in Swiss, and I completely sacked him. So I feel like karmatic justice is gonna get me, and he's gonna destroy me.
Just well, just sack him again. It's super easy. Sack him again.
And
Uh,
even if I beat him, then like my next round is gonna be like either Nando, who's like the world champion from prior year, or Clinton Chan, and I don't want to play either of them. They're both also scary. So yeah, not looking forward to that.
I mean, you have all our support here in the channel. We'll probably say that to everyone who comes, but we'll still support you.
Thank.
Thank you very much. Also, any expectations, any like opinion on the tournament itself, like a quick opinion?
Um, hmm. Like I don't particularly have very strong opinions about it. I think what the organization team is doing is like a good thing for the community, especially since all the tournaments have been canceled. It's like a lot of people recently have been getting like burnt out or like not interested in Weiss because there's no tournaments, so there's nothing really to be playing for. But by creating this tournament and like making it a big deal in all of like the public forums, people are getting more interested or more invested back into Weiss and are like getting interested again. And I think that's a great thing for the community. So I'm very happy for having this tournament set up.
Yeah, we're also very happy. Thank you very much for coming. If you have any social media that you want to be shouted on, leave it to us. We'll put it in the comments down below. Also, thanks to you, the people watching, and see you next time with more deck decks or other content we're planning to make. Thank you very much. Bye, Ryan. Bye, everyone.